suffer from hereditary hair loss, this is a show to help you out. And there are other options out there to get hair on your back on your scalp.
Yes.
None of the ways that I would prefer to get them back on the scalp.
Right.
This is a way that is pain-free. It only is 11 minutes, 3 times a week, and you'll start to see results within about how long? About 26 weeks or a little bit less?
16 weeks, you start to see results.
Yeah.
And what you're going to do is when you get it home, you charge it up and you start to use it 3 times a week for 11 minutes. And you're not going to see anything happen for the first month, 2 months. Even once you get into that 3rd month, you might start seeing some things like toward the end of that 3rd month. And what you're going to see first is little hair starting to grow in. And you can feel them. There can be like little fuzz
Fine
starting
fuzz.
to grow in, fine fuzz. But over time, that fine fuzz is going to grow into be thick, beautiful hair again, just like the hair on your scalp.
And this one is a new one. So this one is brand new this weekend. It is the Ultima 9 Hair Growth Laser Comb. 5 easy payments of under $61. It is on advanced order price, and that will ship out to you on September the 8th. You have 5 months to pay for it, so just under $61, and it has a 180-day return policy. Normally it's 30 days here. Normally this is 120 days. We've added an extra 60 days to this. It's pretty incredible. All right, so we're going to do a little question and answer with you, Randy. Okay. The very first thing that I have to, how in the world can this possibly work? Honestly, because I'm a skeptic. I'll tell you, I'm a big skeptic about anything unless I can try it.
Right.
And I'm sure that you are as well. So, but I want to hear why in the world how in the world can this work?
You know, you said being a skeptic, and I was a skeptic at first. When the inventor of the product came to me and talked to me about it, I'm like, light, growing hair? Oh, come on, really?
Yeah.
You know, light takes away hair. It's called laser hair removal. But no, it works. The easiest way I can explain it is light is energy. Okay, and you think about how a plant can take sunlight and sunlight energy, and the plant can convert it into plant growing energy. Well, what we've done through our research, 15 years of research, is that we have found the right type of light that the hair follicle likes. And the hair follicle can take that light energy and turn it into hair growing energy, essentially. So.
By the way, definitely call us on our testimonial lines. If you're picking this up and you have some more questions for Randy, definitely call us in. We're going to see if we can get those answered for you from Randy. So definitely call us. The next thing I have, hair colors. Is it just for like brunettes or just blondes or redheads? What is the deal?
In our clinical studies, we've tested it on all different hair colors. Okay, and you saw we had the 2 models here. We had both a blonde-haired model and a brunette model. You can see in the before and after pictures, it works on every color of hair. If you color or treat your hair, that's not a problem either, because it's going to grow your hair back, so that your new hair will take the color treat just like the hair that's on your head already. And you could use it on wet hair or dry hair, curly hair, straight hair. If you iron your hair or Brazilian straighten it, that doesn't matter. It's going to work just fine for you.
Okay, so can I use this with if I use hair gel or if I have, you know, my hairspray and that kind of thing, can I use it with that, or do I need to have a clean scalp? What's the best way to use it?
I mean, it's best to use it on a clean scalp, but it doesn't have to be completely clean. The reason why we say it is that if you put gel in your hair or hairspray in your hair or maybe a topical product for hair growth in your hair, and if you use the laser after that, what can happen is this laser window can get dirty. You know, it's just like a dirty window. So you want to make sure that this is clean so that the light shines through properly. And it's very simple to clean too. This is one of the new advantages of the new model. If you go underneath the teeth and push them up, you can see how it raised up just a little bit right there, and they come right off.
Look at that.
Look at that. And this can be washed in warm soapy water, and then you just take a cloth and wipe that window right there. To put the teeth back, reverse the process. You put it in a little bit higher. I'm going to put it up against a background there maybe where you can see it. There you go, because it was being lost in my. You see how you put it in just a little bit higher right there, and then they just slide and click right into place.
All right, so what's happening, and we talked a little bit about this, but what's happening in the first couple of weeks when because I'll tell you, so for me personally, what happened is when I first started to use it, I started to get these little teeny weeny bumps and almost like little raised bumps on the side of my hair up here, because this is where I had all that hair loss. So up here I started getting little bumps, but also then the fine hairs. So what are some of the other things that you can experience within the first couple of weeks?
Yeah, in the first couple of weeks, the little bumps are caused by what you're doing is you're stimulating the hair growth. So part of the hair growth cycle is an oil gland there, and you're stimulating that oil gland, and that oil gland can cause a little bump there. What also happens if that hair follicle hasn't been making a hair for a long time, it's kind of like closing up a little bit. So if that hair starts to try to grow out, it's going to cause a little bump there as well.
Okay.
Okay, and the other thing you may have experienced, a small percentage of people will see a little increase in shedding
Okay.
at first, and it's usually between weeks 3 and 6. And don't be alarmed, it's a good sign, and let me explain why. Your hair grows in cycles. It's called the anagen, catagen, and telogen cycle, or growth, resting, and shedding phases. So during the growth phase, your hair grows about a ½ inch per month. But about 10% of your hair stops growing, and it sits still and it doesn't grow. And if you notice when you get your hair cut, they're not all the same length, right? Even though you got them all cut the same length last time you got your hair cut. What happens is that the hairs in the resting phase are sitting there not growing. So when you stimulate the hair growing environment, those resting hairs have to get out of the way. They have to be shed to make room for the new hairs. Now, it's not excessive shedding, but you may see a small or slight increase in shedding. Don't panic. That's a good sign, because keep looking in those areas, because you're going to see new hair growing in very shortly.
And one really quick question, how long will the charge last?
Oh, well, you got some great questions today.
Sorry.
No,
real
I
quickly.
appreciate it, because the people at home are having the same questions too. The charge is going to last for weeks.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're going on vacation, going on holiday,
It's not a
packing
problem.
your luggage with you and take it
That's
along.
what I find with mine too. Okay, so welcome in, by the way. We're showing you something brand new this weekend from Hairmax, and over 100,000 Hairmax have been ordered here in the last 3 years. If you're one of those people and you've experienced that result, call us and let us know. This is all about regrowth in your hair for that, and 80 million people suffer from hereditary hair loss. 50 million men, but 30 million women. This is on an advanced order price of $304.90. You cannot find this anywhere, not even on hairmax.com can you find this. Only at QVC for the Ultima 9. Now that's going to be here at QVC for at least till the end of November. You can't get it anywhere else. It's a 86137. Now, retail value on this is $495. I understand that this is a considered purchase even at $304.90. But when you think about the alternative, how you'll feel when you start to see the hair grow back in, when you start to, and we're going to do something called the ponytail test a little bit in a little bit, and we're going to show you some before and afters to show you what this actually does right now, because that is, I don't care, even if it's $5, I don't want to pay anything unless I make, unless it works. This works.
This works.
Yeah.
This is clinically tested to show that it works. And we wouldn't have such great sales of the product if it didn't work well. This is a great before and after picture, because we saw this in the other before and after picture, but this woman was losing the hair right up there along that frontal hairline, and you can see it getting thin in there. Nancy, look after 26 weeks how that hair has grown back in. Just absolutely remarkable hair growth. And this woman as well, this is one of my most outstanding before and after pictures. I had the opportunity, I'm director of clinical research, so I spoke to this woman before she started the study. This woman became a recluse with this hair loss. She wouldn't leave the house. If she had to go outside, she wore a hat or a scarf. If she went to a public place, she sat in the back of the room so nobody could see the top of her head, because she was so embarrassed and ashamed about this hair loss. Look at the growth she has had. She's got a full, thick, beautiful head of hair again.
I love that. And here's another one too. Look at this.
Look at this guy right here. This is my favorite male shot as well. But you can see that hair has grown back in. It's thick, it's full, it's healthy. He looks younger. He feels more vibrant. You can feel, was it Ruth that called in earlier? You could hear the smile in her voice, the confidence being returned. So.
I love it. And then here, look at this reference point.
Yes.
That's a huge difference.
It's a huge difference. This guy looks like his little brother now, right? Doesn't he? He looks like his little brother. We marked that little spot in his forehead to show how that receding hairline has reversed itself. And it started to grow back in and cover his forehead as well.
Well, your item number is A86137. It's going to ship out to you on September the 8th. We want to say hi to Julie, who has also been using the Hairmax. Hi, Julie from Utah. How do you feel?
Oh, well, gosh, there's such a world of feelings when it comes to losing your hair, as you might imagine.
Yeah.
But I'm in week 10 now. I've been keeping careful track.
Good.
Okay.
I did want to say, definitely get yourself on a schedule so you get that 3 days a weekend. Because at first, of course, I used it every day for about a week. But make sure you do that. But I also had a reference point, and it was one lonely hair at my hairline, and I thought, I hope I don't lose that because I want to know where my hairline's supposed to be. And even though I of course, am only in week 10, I am starting to go, is there a little more hair there? Just the tiniest bit. And my scalp feels different. And, you know, I don't know quite how to put it into words because I'm moments away from being relieved.
It's the anticipation.
So I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, good.
I'm sorry?
It's the anticipation of that new hair growth coming in. Yes.
Yeah, because, you know, I seem to have about half of the hair on my head that I used to, and it's within the past year, so it's kind of frightening. But I was really happy to see this product, and I'm really happy I had a chance to work with it, and of course I'm going to keep working with it. And I just wanted to say that, you know, the fact that it was offered by QVC was probably the tipping point for me because I trust you to bring me a good product that works, and of course you're always generous enough to let us return something if it doesn't work for us. And I just feel really good about the whole thing, that it comes from you and that it is a good product. So I'll keep going, and I'll let you know how it goes.
I was just going to say that,
Thank
Julie,
you.
make sure you check back in with us and tell us how you're doing and how the process is going for you. And if you just keep working at it, and I think you'll definitely cross that line and you'll see that, and boy, that will be that heavy sigh of relief, like.
Yeah.
And don't be surprised if you get a little well up and you get a little teary, because it's really is a big deal when you start to see that hair start to grow back in and feel that, and then feel like, oh my gosh, I didn't have to part it differently or something. So hang in there, Julie.
Well, you know,
I'm so glad you're
I was
trying
in
it
tears
out.
when I ordered it 10 weeks ago. So
Great.
anything's going to be an improvement over that. Thanks
Good.
for talking with me.
Oh, thank
Julie,
you for
thank
calling.
you.
Appreciate it. Take care, Julie. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So over 4,600 ordered this weekend, 800 in the show alone. And again, call us and let us know. Keep those phone calls coming, because you see the kind of the response that you're having on other people and the kind of effect you'll have on somebody else's life. We're going to talk about clinicals because I think those are very, very important. This is an FDA-cleared device, and talk us through those clinical devices.
Okay,
clinical trials.
it was important to do a lot of research on this technology, because it was a new technology for hair growth, and we were the pioneers in this field. And we said, you know what? In order for everyone to believe this, we got to put the research behind it. And in order to get the FDA clearance, we had to put the research behind it. So we have done 7 clinical studies with over 460 men and women to demonstrate how well this worked. And what they actually did was that the doctors in the research took macro photographs before and after of the people in the study. And we were so astounded, we didn't even realize that it would work this well. 90% of the men and the women actually saw new hair growth. So that is just absolutely amazing. And this is a representative of how much hair they saw. This is about a 1-inch square, so about the size of a postage stamp. And that's what the doctors tested. They looked at that area and counted the number of hairs in that 1-inch square. We saw 129 new hairs per square inch on an average. So if you think about 129 per square inch, how many inches over your scalp times 129, that's thousands of new hairs growing in. And here's an animation of how it works. I mean, the light is light energy, and the light energy is able to go into the scalp, and it's able to invigorate that hair growth. It's able to tell that hair follicle to wake up and start growing again. And you can see this is time-lapse over 16 weeks. Nancy, look at the hair growing back in. And when you start to experience that hair growing back in, Ruth called earlier, and she's on her way. That hair is growing back in. You can feel it. Your hairdresser's going to notice. One woman called in. She said, my husband noticed that my hair was growing back in. And when husbands notice it, that means something really good is happening.
That's right. But here's the thing. You can use this if let's say you're a couple, and we had one of our callers talk about that too today, is that both she and her husband are using the Hairmax. This one has a 180-day return policy. We added an extra 60 days to this, so you would have an opportunity to see if this really works. Starts to work in about 16 weeks. You're getting a full 180-day return policy. But we have to figure out, who is this really for too? Can we go through that?
Yeah, let's go through that again.
Yeah.
First of all, it's for men or women over the age of 18. And we haven't seen an upper age limit yet. We have had people who called in who are well into their 80s who are getting good results with it. So it's women with early to moderate stages of hereditary hair loss. So you can see in the dark gray, or the shaded gray area, is who it's intended for, where the part is getting wider, or you can see the frontal hairline starting to thin out. Ladies, if you're number 3 or advanced, unfortunately, your hair loss can be too far along.
Okay.
So the idea here is to catch it early. But now also keep in mind, if your mother looks like this, and if it's hereditary hair loss, it could be headed your way. Guys, if your dad looks like that, it could be hereditary and heading your way as well. So guys, if you've got the receding hairline, you've got the spot in the back that's getting thin, if you fall into that category in that gray area, it can be for you. If you're shiny, without hair, and have been that way for many years, unfortunately, you've waited too long. Skin types, we clinically tested it on skin types, light through the brown skin types. You saw the animation of the little postage size, the little dots in it. What we had to do is we had to count the number of hairs with some sophisticated software, and the software couldn't count against dark skin.
Okay.
So we couldn't have that in the study. Doesn't mean it's not going to work for you if you've got the darker skin tones. Try it. You've got 180 days to prove
180 days
yourself.
to try it, right?
Yeah.
So I told you we'd do a little ponytail test.
Yes.
Talk to us about the ponytail test, Randy.
You know, with hereditary hair loss, what happens is as we age, your hair starts to fall, your hair falls out, and it gets thin and thin and thin. And when you were in your 20s, see, I was going to say it, Tracy. I'm not going to say when you were younger. When you were in your 20s, that ponytail was probably so big, thick, and full you could barely get a rubber band around it, you know? But as we age, you lose that hair, it falls out, and not all of it grows back. So with the Hairmax, you can get that hair to grow back. You can get that ponytail to be big, thick, and full again. Or look up here in the hairline as well. You know, right up in here, you can see that starting to get, on some people, starting to get thin. And hairline receding. So ladies, you know, you might not have like the big visible signs. You may not see that big part, or you may not see too much hair. But if your hair is just less hair than you've had when you were younger, it's a good sign of hereditary hair loss.
I know
do something about it.
I know people who use this all over their, you know, it is for all over your head, but they use it and for all over their head because it is thinning all over. For me, I just have it at the temples. And I have a question, because the other question people ask all the time is, can I only use this? Do I only have to use this for 6 months and I get to stop, and then my hair is going to be growing? But
it's a good question. No, you need to keep going.
Yes.
It's like you can't go to the gym for 6 months and expect to keep those muscles after you stop going to the gym. The same thing is true with laser hair treatments. You need to continue to use it. I'm in a maintenance mode, so I only use it once a week. But so use it 3 times a week for the first 6 months. Then you can reduce it down to twice a week and even once a week like I am. But it's important to understand is that, you know, you're not out here doing this to your hair. Your hair is what's referred to, it's dead keratin fibers. There's no feeling, there's no growth here. Your hair grows from the scalp outwards. So, you know, we're showing it here that you want to put it against the scalp. And look how those teeth get the hair out of the way. They let that light energy go right down to the scalp, where you can see that it is stimulating those hair follicles to grow back in.
And there is no burning. It's red so you can see where it is, but it's not burning your scalp. You don't have tingling sensation.
No, feel nothing.
There is no feeling at all against your scalp, but know that it's working. Use it 3 times a week, about 11 minutes every time you use it. Be compliant. Do it for the full 180 days. And if you are not seeing results, send it on back. But this is the newest version, the advanced Ultima 9 Hairmax. Simple, 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 easy to use. We're going to show you some more before and afters, and then we're going to go back to the phones because we're going to say hi to Marianne in just a second. But let's talk through some of these before and afters.
Okay, this woman is experiencing hereditary hair loss, female pattern thinning, they also refer to it as. But look how her scalp is getting thin. You can see right down through her hair. And you know, when you talk about hair loss, you immediately think of men, but when a woman starts to lose her hair like this, it can just be so emotionally draining. It zaps your confidence, it zaps your self-esteem, and most women think that there's nothing they can do about it. 2 things, they think there's nothing they can do about it and think that they're alone. Well, first of all, understand you're not alone. 30 million women in North America suffer from this type of hair loss. So there is something you can do about it as well, because now you've got the Hairmax. People say, well, it's hereditary hair loss. You know, my mom had it. She couldn't do anything about it. I can't do anything about it. Your mom didn't have Hairmax, right? You've got Hairmax, and Hairmax can empower you to grow that hair back. And because you're doing it in the comfort and convenience of your own house, you're not getting in a car, you're not driving to see a doctor, you're not making an appointment, and you're getting results like you've seen these before and after pictures.
Pretty incredible. Let's say hi to Marianne calling in from Florida. Marianne, hello,
Yes.
how are you?
Hi, Marianne.
I'm fine. I spoke to you once before about myself.
Okay.
I have very long hair, and I was losing a dramatic amount of it.
Yes.
And, of course, I was very upset. I didn't know if it was some medical reasons or whatever, so I tried the Hairmax. I've been using it now for a year and a half. But my husband noticed the difference. My doctor noticed the difference. So 6 months ago, I got the Hairmax. I got another one for him. So now my husband is using it. So, you know, we have seen, he's seen some improvement also.
Oh, that's
Not
great.
as much as I have, but he has seen some.
Well, let me ask you a couple of questions. Does it hurt to use?
Of course not, no.
No burning?
Nothing. No, all you're doing is combing your hair.
Good.
Great, great.
And
I do it 3 times a week. He does it, we do it together 3 times a week.
Oh, togetherness, that's great.
Routine, you know, it's like brushing your teeth. Nothing, you know.
yeah.
But I just want to say to people out there, if you have been like I have, in tears from losing your hair because it was coming out, just coming out terribly, and I still don't know why, but all I know is I tried this, and this has been like a miracle for me. My hair is down to my waist, so it made a big difference to me.
Marianne, many, many thank yous for calling in to tell us your story today.
Yes.
Well, I wanted to say also that my husband did notice it, and my doctor did notice it. So it does make, you know, a difference.
Good.
So
and hopefully it'll help my husband much more than it has.
Yeah, well, tell them to keep going with it. Now, Marianne, there's some people out there who were in your position a year and a half ago, so they're on the fence whether to get this or not. What would you tell them?
I tell them you have listen, it's an investment, but it's like, you know, going to the beauty parlor or whatever. You're making a difference to yourself. It's definitely going to do something for you, unless you're so far gone.
Right.
But you know, it will make a difference.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Marianne, thank you so much.
Oh, you're quite welcome, and I hope people, you know, do try it. I really do.
Yes.
Me too. Take care.
Okay.
Thanks, Marianne. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you.
Bye-bye. So A86137 is your item number here. This is the, honestly, you can't get this Hairmax Ultima 9 anywhere but QVC. You're not going to be able to get it until anywhere else until after the end of November. I have to tell you, 5 easy payments of $60.98 is worth it to try. I mean, I love what Marianne just said about you could go to, women especially, we go to the beauty parlor, we get our hair done, whether it's the perming, whether it's the straightening, whether it's the color, whether it's the cut. We spend a lot of money on our hair, but what do we do about that hair loss? It happens. I'm one of these people, and I'll tell you a real quick story too, is that, and please continue to call in testimonial lines. When I was going through high school, I would have my hair appointments that I would go to would be on a Friday, and they would be every 2 to 3 months I would go to get my hair done. My mom would bring me to the salon. And there was a woman, because she had a standing appointment every week. Her hair was so thin. I felt terrible. I was getting my hair thinned out while she was getting hers teased up to be able to cover her scalp up. I used to feel so guilty about that. I thought I would never, ever, ever lose my hair, ever in a million years. About 2 years ago, I started to notice this patch started to here and in through here, and it started to thin. I actually did a show with you, with Randy, and I said, can I, I want to try it, and I tried it, and I started using it. And one of the things that I came back with you was, I'm getting these little tiny bumps. I don't understand it. You said, Nancy, it's working. That's why.
That's a sign it's working.
So I continued to use it, and those little hairs start to grow out, and then the fullness starts. That is honestly, for people who really suffer with that hereditary hair loss, it makes such a big difference in how I feel about myself and how I can part my hair or how I can do my hair. I have those options back, but I tell you, if you want to try it, you've got 120 days to do it. No, 180 days to do that. No questions asked if it's not working for you. But my plea for you would be, please make sure you're using it 3 times a week, 11 minutes a day. Don't just use it a month, maybe once or twice a week, and then send it back. Don't do that. You've got to use it, because that's the beauty in this, is the compliance, going back to that. But we're going to talk again about those before and afters, because it's really, really important to see how this technology is working.
It really is. And, they say that a picture's worth 1,000 words. We like to say Hairmax pictures are worth thousands of new hairs, because that's what's happening here. We are growing hair back on your scalp. And so many people say, oh, you're covering it up. No, we are regrowing the hair that has not been growing here for a little while on your scalp. Look at this before picture, especially at the top of the picture. Not only is her part a lot wider, but look at the vertex of her scalp. You can see right down through that hair. After 26 weeks, look how it's grown in. Now, you asked this question earlier. After 26 weeks, she needs to continue to use it, right, to keep these benefits. But you can go to a maintenance mode of about once per week if you would like. But it's only 11 minutes, so it's simple to do. Frontal hairline hair loss as well, so it works on the back of the scalp, works on the top of the scalp, and works in the frontal area of the scalp as well. So ladies, if you see that hair thinning right along that hairline, if you have to tease your hair, if you have to wear it differently, you have to cover it up, you don't have to do that anymore with Hairmax. You can grow that hair back in. Guys, look at this. Look at the hair growth here. I love seeing these pictures because I know how happy these people are from using their Hairmax. We had a testimonial call in one time, and she said, there is a side effect with the Hairmax. My muscles right here next to my mouth are starting to hurt a little bit because I'm smiling so much with all this new hair because I look so good again.
I love that. I love it. And again, we have about 10 more minutes left in our show, and this is brand new this weekend. It is one of our featured items on the day called the Hot Pick. Over 100,000 Hairmax laser combs have been sold here on QVC. This particular one, the newest model, the Ultima 9, you can't get anywhere but QVC. This is it until the end, at least the end of after November. But the retail value on this is $495. We have it for you for $304.90 and on 5 easy payments of $60.98. For those of you who are new to QVC, the normal return policy that we have is 30 days. We've extended this to 180 days. Randy, why did you decide to extend this to that 180 days versus, because normally you do 120, but you did another 60 days. Why did you do that?
We wanted to make sure that people are seeing the results. And we're so confident that you can see results because 90% of the people in our research saw their hair growth. It's 90% of the people saw their hair grow back. So we want to give you 180 days, that's 6 months and half a year, so you can see that hair growth. Hair grows slowly. It only grows a half an inch a month. So if you've just got a little bit of hair there, you might not see it. But when it grows to be 3 or 4 inches long over those 6 months, you're going to be able to see that new hair growth and that new you.
And think about how you'll feel. Now, for those of you who are using already like powders or you're using sprays or something to cover up those thinning spots or those balder spots, let me just say that while you're using the comb, go ahead and use that during the day until you start to see those results. And you'll start to use less and less and less of that all the time, and then till you'll not have to use that anymore as well.
Right.
So keep yourself confident in the meantime between now and the next 6 months as you're using this, but also take advantage of the Easy Pay program because $60.98 is definitely worth the money to see if this works or not. That's another big thing. Yeah. So we have just a few minutes left. Couple of things I want to kind of circle back around with.
Okay.
Number one, I want to ask you about, because who is this for again? I don't want to overpromise this for any of you who are out there with that you're completely bald. This is not going to work. So let's talk to who actually this is for.
Okay, over the age of 18 is the number one thing, because if you're under 18, if you're losing your hair, it's not hereditary hair loss. Okay. Men or women, and we haven't seen an upper age limit. We've had people call in their 80s with testimonials that it's been working for them. So it's early to moderate stages of what's referred to as androgenetic alopecia or hereditary hair loss. Some people call it male pattern baldness, female pattern thinning, female pattern baldness. So if you have early to moderate hair loss, the hair loss that you've seen in the before and after pictures, we've shown those charts quite a few times. The receding hairline, both in the men and women, or the spot in the back that the guys get. The key here, though, is to address your hair loss early. We film here in Westchester, Pennsylvania, and I was actually in the store, and I was talking to somebody. They said, "Oh, you're here for QVC. What do you sell?" And I was telling them about it. A woman overheard me. She says, "Oh, Randy, I saw you on TV, on QVC, probably about 6 or 7 months ago with that Hairmax. And I was thinking about getting it. I've got thinning hair. Randy, Randy, take a look, Randy. I've got this thinning hair," she said to me. I said, if you would have bought it 6 or 7 months ago, you'd be showing me the new hair growth already. You wouldn't be showing me the thinning, so don't wait. My message is to you, start now, catch it before it gets any worse, and see those benefits. If you start today, you're going to have new hair by the holidays.
Isn't that
right?
nice? Wouldn't
You've
that be
got,
great? Feeling really good about those holiday parties, but not painful because there's not heat, there's no tingling sensation. You have 11 minutes in your day. Think about, the alternatives, either really, going to an extreme procedure, or whether you want to do something in the comfort of your home like this for 11 days, or you don't do anything and you continue to see that hair loss and you continue to feel like you're covering things up and you're feeling bad about, who you are and all of that. I want you to do that anyway. Let me just throw it off that off the table. You have thinning hair, you're beautiful no matter what. But if there is something that you can do about it and make yourself feel better, this is a great place to start for sure, because it does work, because it is FDA cleared. The clinical studies have been done. We've seen the before and afters, and we're going to see some more, because that is really important. When you see these, you see what it's done for other people. Can you talk us through these couple of ones, please, Randy?
This is some frontal hair loss here in this young lady. You can see right there, along that hairline. And you talked about the camouflage products earlier. If you've got hair loss in the front area like that, you really can't cover that up. And what happens is, well, first of all, you've got to buy those camouflage products every month, right? So that costs money. The Hairmax is a one-time investment. It's going to last you, and you can get these type of results. She has grown that hair back in. After 26 weeks, you can see it's grown back in to be thick, full, beautiful hair again. And this next before and after picture is just, when she called me at the end of this clinical research and said, she was in tears of joy. She said, "Thank you, Randy. Thank Hairmax. You have given me my life back." I became a recluse. I hid. I covered up my hair. I wouldn't want to go out. Men and women both see great results. This is my favorite guide before and after picture coming up next. You can see that hair growing back in. Hair is what's referred to as a photoprotectant. Look at his scalp in the before picture. You can see he's got a little sunburn on that scalp because he doesn't have enough hair to protect his scalp from getting sunburn. And that after picture, now he does. Now he doesn't have to worry about getting his scalp burnt anymore. This guy as well. I like to say that this after picture looks like his little brother, because he's got that hairline coming back the way he had his hairline years ago. I mean, he looks younger. When you look younger, you feel younger. You feel just renewed. You feel more energy in life. You're smiling. You're happy. Your day goes better. You ever have a bad hair day? You've got beautiful hair, but you ever have a bad hair day?
Yes, I have a bad hair day.
Okay, I mean, when you have a bad hair day, your day just goes downhill from there. And if you've got thinning hair, you could have a bad hair day every day because it's thinning. There's nothing you can do about it. When you've got a good hair and a good hair day, you've got a full, thick head of hair, everything just goes right for you. Well, mostly everything goes right for you.
So we're going to show you again how this is actually working and what this is doing, because it's all about those lasers. Talk us through this.
It's all about those therapeutic lasers and that therapeutic light energy that is able to go into that scalp. And it's able to encourage that hair follicle that became weakened over time, or became weakened with hereditary hair loss. And it's not building a hair anymore. Nancy, watch this time lapse. Look at new hairs growing in, and they're your real hairs. So if you color treat your hair, that's not a problem. If you curl it, that's not a problem. There was a call earlier, she said her hair was so thin she only used one roller. Now she has to use 3 rollers because her hair has grown back in. So it works on blondes, brunettes, redhead, gray hair. Works wonderful on gray hair as well. So no matter what your hair style, what your hair color, 90% chance it's going to work for you.
We love that. Your item number is A86137. And just to kind of recap the offer here, this is your Hairmax Ultima 9, brand new this weekend, one of our featured items called a hot pick. You cannot get this anywhere but QVC until after November. This is 5 easy payments of $60.98. Retail value on this, $495. So by shopping here with our advanced order price, you're saving $191 off the regular, what is going to be retail. The other thing is, you have, instead of the 120-day money-back guarantee that Hairmax usually gives us, how about an extra 60 days to 180 days? That means you get to try this, and you should start to see those results in about 16 weeks. But if you don't, continue to use it until the very last minute and look at those results. And if you don't have results, if you are being compliant and you're doing 3 times a week, 11 minutes a day, and you're not seeing the results, well, by golly, of course, send it back.
Right.
but I think you'll really see the big results and start to feel that confidence come back. So 86137 is your item number. For the weekend, over 5,500 of the brand new Hairmax have already been ordered. Thank you so much for all of you who called in to tell us your story. It meant a lot, I know, to many of you who are sitting out there. Randy, as always,
Nancy,
a pleasure,
it's great.
my
Thank
friend.
you so much.
Good,
Thank
good
you,
to see
everybody.
All right, so we have a great shoe show coming up. I wonder what it is. Oh yeah, Bionics. I get to get out of my high heels and get into some comfy shoes with the Ortho-Heel technology. We're going to invite your testimonial calls all next hour as well. Hang with us. Well, good Sunday afternoon to you. My name is Nancy Hornback. So glad you could join us here on QVC. We are going to talk about great shoes in the next hour, all about something called Bionic with Ortho-Heel technology. But here's the beauty. The Ortho-Heel technology was designed by an Australian podiatrist, Phil Vasili. And although that you might think, gosh, I wear orthotics, I could never wear super cute shoes. Well, Phil did something really incredible. He took that Ortho-Heel technology and he put it in an awesome upper. So you get fashion, you get function, and you get cuteness. Now here's the thing. In the show, we have a lot of brand new. We have some hot picks in the show. We have a one-time only value. Oh, if you don't know what that means, stay with us and I'll tell you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you a few of those items coming up in the show. How about a brand new today, hot pick, one of our featured items on the day, called the Bionic with the Ortho-Heel Orthotic Bungee